people can learn a language, but sometimes they get lazy and they don't try to correct their own accent. Maybe it's a sense of
There's certain
individuality.
softwares that even they create entirely artificial intelligence
And I
podcasts.
feel like every new language is another door into a culture that you can't open. You can't open that door until you've learned that language.
Accents are really beautiful.
Yeah.
I think that's what like kind of adds to the spice of like learning languages is the accent part.
Should you be making fun of Indians for their accent? Our answer, no, not at all. Is it fun to do? Look, I'm gonna leave that to you. But today on Chit Chat Chai, we'll be speaking about why language learning is so important. Nice tea.
Thank you, you too.
Okay, well, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to another episode of Chit Chat and Chai. Today, what are we discussing, Shahzad?
Good question, Numan. Today we're discussing languages and all the beauty associated with learning them.
Part one. This is
Part
part
one.
one of two.
Yes.
Next week we're having a very special guest who we'll introduce next week, of course, but he's quite experienced and language learning is one of his passions.
Absolutely.
Still, what have you got to say about learning languages? How many languages do you know? Give us a background.
I guess you could say I know 2.5 languages.
Okay.
The half being a conversational proficiency in Mandarin. Not fluent, but I can get my way around. You know, order food,
Wow, really?
make small talk, ask the fishermen at the Morialek Pier how their day is going, pretty much.
Do you think that, like, what are the benefits of knowing Mandarin for you, personally?
For me personally, it's it's a very unique language. You don't get very much languages like Mandarin. Even Korean, Japanese, they're quite different. I think there's over 100,000 characters in Mandarin.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Cool.
So that alone
Are you
makes
sure
it-
there's not more?
There's more. There's more, but like
There's at least 100,000.
there's at least 100,000 that's
Yeah.
like really like commonly used.
There's at least 12 English words in the English language.
At least, yeah. Maybe a little bit more. Yeah. Just a little bit, just a tad. Yeah, but I was on the safe side. I don't know exactly how many characters there are in Chinese, but
That's cool.
yeah, yeah. I would get around. I would get around with like learning Chinese. Just yeah. And the other languages are obviously English and Uygurcha, which is my mother tongue.
Uyghur.
Uyghur, yes.
Right. And what about Uzbek? The Uzbek language.
You could. I mean, if you wanted to chuck that in there, I guess you could.
Because
I
don't
would
you feel like
consider it the
those?
same as Uyghur.
Yeah, they're two very similar languages.
And even if you wanted to chuck in like maybe 25% of Turkish, you could chuck it in there as well.
Nah,
So like I technically know 3.75.
don't get ahead of
languages.
yourself. They're almost there. Inshallah, bro. If you keep practicing, I think you just got to practice more. But right now, it looks
Absolutely.
like you're
Evet.
still learning, still at the
Yes.
basics.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Inshallah. Ellerine salik.
Ellerine sağlık.
Salik.
Ellerine sağlık.
Yes.
Close. That means,
Bless your hands.
basically, yeah, it's
Yeah.
like when someone gives you food, you say, well, health to your hands, or
Well,
goodness
thank
to
you
your
for
hands.
your tea. Ellerine salik.
Ellerine. You have to roll your R's. Ellerine.
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 Yes. What about you? How many languages are you at right now? I know you're a man of the world, so
No,
you travel.
I like learning languages. That's my passion, personally.
Yeah.
I love anything to do with language and how it came to be. And I feel like every new language is another door into a culture that you can't open. You can't open that door until you've learned that language. So I know English, Turkish, and I want to say Indonesian because I was quite fluent in Indonesian. Now it feels like I need to spend a day or two just practicing everything again, and I'll be like back into fluency. But it feels like I haven't spoken it so much since I came back from Indonesia. So I lived there for 5 months. I learnt it. I became, I think, alhamdulillah, decently fluent because I was immersing myself as much as I could. Like, I made it my mission to learn the language, and everyone was so shocked. but I was able to speak about politics, about weather, about this and that. Alhamdulillah, just random things. Go further than just how are you, hello, nice weather we're having, and really engage in a conversation, which was, my goal. Alhamdulillah, I achieved it. And the accent as well. Accent is very important. Now, look, there are some people, won't say who they are, but some people, they can't get the accent. They miss out sometimes, they forget how to roll their R's, or they just can't do it, or they just don't know how to pronounce certain letters. And alhamdulillah, I felt like I got the accent like all right. Like it was okay. Because I just imagined speaking English in an Indonesian accent. Like how do they speak English?
I think Indonesians have
in a
a
nice
very,
way.
a very distinct English accent.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, not that I'm trying to make fun of them or trying to, mock them,
no,
but in the sense where it's like, oh, how would an Indonesian person pronounce this in English?
Yeah.
So does that mean that they would pronounce it like that in Indonesian? You know what I mean?
of
Like
course,
it's sort of
yeah.
transferred.
Yeah, I think your mother tongue is gonna be with you no matter what.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like a lifetime accent almost,
Mm.
unless you spend a lifetime fixing it, which a lot of people don't. And why should you? I think accents are really beautiful.
Yeah.
I think that's what like kind of adds to the spice of like learning languages is the accent part.
In terms of mastering,
what if everyone had the same accent? I'll just pose that question.
you're absolutely right. No.
That would
I
be the
think
most boring society that we could live
when
in.
it comes to the
Yeah.
same language, then I think that it's nice to have a bit of a different accent. But if you come from, man, this is not gonna sound good. But I feel like there are
Say it.
like people can learn a language, but sometimes they get lazy and they don't try to correct their own accent. Maybe it's a sense of individuality, and I absolutely respect that if you want to be your own individual, But at the same time, if you say to yourself, I know the basics, it's okay. Like really, I think everyone, if they already start learning a language, they should try their best to master it. And part of mastering a language is getting that accent right. That's also what makes that language itself beautiful. Like I understand you can say an accent is beautiful. So if you have, your background country accents of English, for example,
Yep.
then that's nice. It makes you more individually.
Yeah.
But I feel like that language you're trying to learn, even English, or the country that you're trying to learn it in, the accent itself is what makes that language so unique sometimes.
Absolutely.
Like having to roll your R's, there's a beauty in learning that.
Yeah.
And it's a new skill. Some people
It
I
is.
find are afraid of learning new skills. They want to take in a new concept or an idea or a skill set, but they want to like sort of put into their own way of doing things, and it can come off sometimes as a bit disrespectful to the way that it's supposed to be.
Absolutely, yeah. I always think it always comes back to your intentions and what you kind of like really endeavor to do with learning languages. If it means getting to understand people better,
Yeah.
getting to connect with people better, then I think that's absolutely the way that you should go about it if you're learning languages.
Should you make fun of someone for having an accent when they're just trying to learn
Absolutely not.
a language?
No, I think the accent is the lowest hanging fruit when it comes to making fun of someone, because that's like, yes, the grammar, you can
I
make fun
agree.
of the grammar.
Yeah.
You can make fun of like, I guess, certain spelling errors and stuff like that. I've been made fun of for my own mother tongue because I learned that later in my life. It hurts, it does, when people make fun of like your attempts at learning a language.
Yeah. That can be really disheartening.
But the accent is something that it takes the longest time to change. Like I was saying, it takes a lifetime to change your accent
Yeah.
unless you spend a lifetime changing it.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I think people take that for granted sometimes, that they have, in their native tongue, they're able to speak fluently, they're able to speak with their own unique accent or their own way to speak. Like an American might speak in an American accent,
Yeah.
and a British person might speak in a British English accent.
Yeah.
But if you, for example, like, back to your example, you said you're trying to speak Uygurcha. You're
Yeah.
trying to speak the Uyghur language.
Yep.
But then elders, or even just friends who grew up speaking it, for example, start making fun of you, then it's gonna like discourage you to even try again. You know.
Absolutely.
So I think we
yeah.
should be a little sensitive in that sense.
Yeah. There was a period of time where I was obsessed with kind of language learning, especially like mastering my own mother tongue.
Yeah.
So I was on like all these apps called like Clubhouse, which is like conversation app that people can go to. I would recommend it for new language.
Clubhouse.
Yeah. Here you go, Clubhouse. Please promote us, sponsor us.
This is what it looks like.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And
it
I
was
was, yeah, it was definitely helpful.
Okay.
So I was able to actually like it was helpful for more reasons than just language learning.
Okay.
I was actually able to make friends from all over the world, and I would
So
later.
it was a very interactive online forum.
Absolutely, yeah.
Kind of thing.
People would use aliases and stuff because of the nature of our, like the political situation at home.
Right.
But nevertheless, I would make like really good friends there. I would go on to make good friends, and I would meet them actually like later on in my trips and my travels.
Really?
Yes.
That is pretty cool. So
Yes.
you could learn Turkish on Clubhouse
and then go
Go
and
meet
meet
up with
them.
Isn't that a bit
later in
risky? Like probably. I don't recommend doing that though.
I mean, maybe if you're a
younger.
girl, if you're a guy,
It could
then
be
why
anybody.
not? Yeah, yeah. I mean, look, it's really just depends on how much of an extrovert you are. I was
How
pretty
fast you are
yeah.
if they are a danger. How quick you can run away.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you take the next Shinkansen out of the city if you're meeting somebody in Tokyo, for example.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay, so there are creeps online. That's
Yeah,
a fact.
absolutely. Yeah.
But still, Clubhouse.
But-
regardless, you can learn a lot of things just by interacting with people.
Yeah, Clubhouse was one of the avenues that I used.
Something you can't really do on Duolingo.
No, yeah, Duolingo was another one, which I'm currently still using. My streak is actually at 367, I think.
367. You
Yes.
just reached a whole year.
Yes,
that's
I
a
have.
milestone. That's
It is.
for a lot of people. That's like a huge deal. They
It
take,
is. I mean,
anniversary, birthday photos.
yeah. No one really uses Duolingo anymore. Otherwise, it would be like a bigger deal.
I think nowadays people are still using it, just less. Like they've got the notifications silenced now, because of the recent.
It's incessant. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it's not just that, but also how there's been a lot of controversy with Duolingo. I personally, I did use it a couple of years back to learn the basics of Indonesian, and I found it quite helpful, to be honest, because it just gave me some exposure as to what the vocabulary sort of looked like what kind of different words there are which originate from English or French or Arabic. So that was really cool to see. And it kept me consistent. I think that's a huge, big thing when it comes to learning anything, any skill, is just be consistent. Do it every day. Do it without even realizing sometimes. You got to be aware. But if you got a phone in your pocket always, right, and you hear a ding and it says time to do the Duolingo lesson, you do it for 10 minutes, you feel some sort of reward out of doing it because, I don't know, there are flashy colors and, nice sounds. If you think that'll keep you consistent, 100%. I actually don't discourage anyone from using Duolingo because it keeps you consistent. It's a good way to track progress. However, does that mean that you're going to become a native speaker on that level? No, not at all.
Absolutely not. Duolingo is really one of those productivity apps that you can use to kind of keep yourself accountable to learning a language, but it's not going to make you fluent.
Yeah.
It's pretty much it's like the base level of learning a language. It'll get you like to say hi and bye.
Yeah.
How are you?
I think it's good for vocabulary.
Oh, for sure. It's good for vocab, learning new words, but just everyday conversation. You'll sound like a robot if you learn everything off Duolingo.
Yeah.
So you have to really go on apps like Clubhouse, speak with natives.
Mm-hmm. Have you heard of Preply?
Preply, no?
Preply, it's a very, I think now popular because I've seen so many ads for it, but the logo is pink. It's basically, you find a tutor online and then you book them, maybe for a test run. Sometimes they cost up to $30 an hour, maybe even more. sometimes less, about 15 or $10, depending on, I don't know what language it is. I tried doing Arabic, Egyptian Arabic on there. I tried doing Vietnamese. Actually, I just had a look at Vietnamese.
Okay.
And there are some good deals, but you basically talk face to face with a person, I mean, online, virtually, and they teach you. So I think they've sort of got an upper hand advantage,
Right.
but of course it is a little more costly.
Okay. So there's I mean, there's that. If you guys don't mind the initial like fees associated with learning languages.
If you got a budget,
yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
Can I just say another way I recommend highly when it comes to learning a language is treat it like you're a kid, like you're a 5-year-old learning new words and new phrases and making mistakes, asking questions regardless of how silly you might think you sound. And like the same way that a kid learns a new language, I think that should sort of be our approach. I'm not saying totally go full child, but just try your best in the sense that you listen, and then you ask questions, and then you speak, and then people will correct you now and then, but still at least you're just going face first into it. You're trying to expose yourself as much as you can, and that's heavily involved with picking up stuff through observation and then trying to emit that, trying to reciprocate what that other person is trying to say.
Absolutely, yeah. Language learning is a lot about reciprocation. It is, because there's a lot of software nowadays where you can just have a conversation with AI.
Yeah.
So like you were saying about Preply, was it?
Preply, yeah, but that's a person.
That's been replaced by AI nowadays.
Yeah, 100%.
Like Speak AI, for example, like a lot of like different AI softwares that use AI as your conversation partner.
I'll be honest though, I have to admit I've used ChatGPT to learn a language.
Languages?
I think it's
just through
really
translations,
underrated.
or is it conversations?
Conversations, because
Okay.
they've got you can use ChatGPT to talk, right?
Yeah.
And so they'll learn different languages, or they know different languages, and they'll teach you about that language by speaking it to you. And they'll use like sentences that sometimes you didn't even realize, you could actually use because you haven't spoken to a person before.
Right.
If you're just on Duolingo, for example. But on ChatGPT, it's trying to emulate a human person, like just a normal person speaking. So that's probably an advantage.
And they do a pretty good job as well.
Yeah.
There's certain softwares that even they create entirely artificial intelligence podcasts.
Oh wow.
So I guess even our jobs are at risk.
Yeah.
But that being said, who's not
that?
at this point? Like most of the creative industry is under certain, like
Under attack by
under
AI.
attack. Yeah. And your language teachers aren't safe from that either. So let's be honest.
But still, I mean, I think because ChatGPT is so easily accessible, everyone should try to create their own lessons on ChatGPT. So you go onto Chat, you ask him or her or it, whatever you want to call it. You say, can you give me a lesson on the basics, on vocabulary, on verbs, grammar, etc. for Japanese or for Chinese or whatever.
Apparently
I mean Mandarin. And then it can give you transliteration too and ways to remember it or visuals.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, apparently the newest update isn't so flash though. That's what
I heard.
5.0, 6.0, was it?
5.0. I tried
5.0,
it
yeah.
actually for like a conversation,
Yeah.
and it was literally on voice. And you can actually like. Have you heard that it's less energetic or less enthusiastic? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes, and also like they have certain caps per day about how much.
Yeah, they've had that before with ChatGPT 4.0 as well.
Yeah, but like I do realize that like there's certain limits and like limits to like the amount of
You could
output
just get
that you can get. Yeah.
You could get the premium version.
Oh, you could, but like
Full
there's
deal.
yeah, but like there's always like some sort of subscription fee involved with things nowadays, which I don't.
That does feel kind of you're right.
Yeah, Clubhouse was always my favorite because you would go on and just join any random room and have a conversation.
But
obviously,
is
like
it
the
with a camera or anything? Or
no, it's just your voice. People are entirely anonymous on Clubhouse.
Wow. I should try that out for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So if people are looking for a more cost-effective way, Clubhouse is the
Yeah,
best.
and
I
more
think.
interactive. That sounds
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah,
Sounds really
and
good.
you're speaking with actual people as well. If you like
Yeah.
that.
I don't want to discourage anyone, but sometimes I do cringe, like when someone is trying to learn a new language, but they're still working on their accent. Like I won't say to them like, "Oh man, you suck at speaking that language." Like I'm obviously going to try and support them, but always to me, I feel like I don't want to be rude, but I want to correct that person, and
Yeah.
I don't know where the line is. You know, I'm trying to help you, but I don't want to come off as trying to disrespect you because you're still learning. You know.
Yes, yes.
Like if someone's mispronouncing a word, like we had your friend and he was mispronouncing, like he said shine instead of sheen, the company, and I was
Right.
like it was just not the right time. But I don't want to pull someone to the side later and say, oh, just so you know, it's pronounced sheen, not shine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some things you just gotta
Grammar
learn.
Nazis, eh? I've had my fair share of grammar Nazis.
No, but I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm not trying to actually force anyone. Like, and I also don't want to do it in private either because that feels weird. So how does that person learn? How are they gonna
There's
learn?
a fine balance, and it really depends on how they take it. And if they take it well, that means that they can curb their ego and kind of like take advice, right?
Maybe, but
Yes,
but the
so-
other thing is if they're now trying to say to themselves like, okay, I'm a proficient English speaker now because I've done pretty good, but there's always a few words that they were never corrected on, right? So then they try speaking to their other friends who are less proficient than them,
Yeah.
and then they say shine instead of sheen, and then now there's a whole another generation that says shine instead of sheen, because
I wouldn't mind
the
if,
teacher
if,
didn't know.
if
Well, they
the
weren't
brand
corrected.
Shine or the Sheen was being mispronounced, because I'd rather nobody know about Sheen in the first place. If that was the only word that was being mispronounced.
Yeah, that's how we boycott Sheen, is by just not respecting how to pronounce his name.
Exactly right.
So you're right, Shine or Sheen, that was a bad example. Even Temu as well, or Timu. Like the way that people pronounce Timu is so like I don't even know what the correct one is, so I can't say anything.
It's Temu. No.
Tamu.
It's like
Tamu. I've never heard anyone pronounce it as Tamu, but that would be good. And then if someone says to you, I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Timu, or I'm sure it's pronounced Temu, you can say to them, oh, no, I'm sure there's a correct way,
tell those
but
people
I don't
to get
respect
stuffed.
it enough.
Yeah, I don't respect it enough.
I don't respect Timu enough to pronounce it.
I got
because
many
of the,
things wrong in my own mother tongue, and I've suffered the absolute worst of the grammar Nazis.
But wait, why don't you respect Timu or Sheen?
Well, there's a long story
us.
behind that. And
Yeah, I'm interested.
I feel like you would know better than I do, because you've done a whole series on boycotting their products. But like, they're all like cheaply manufactured, terrible products which are utilizing forced labor and cheap labor back home. So,
so
never ever go down the easy path of buying online cheap
goods,
products.
Yeah. Well, people say nowadays we've got blood on our shirts, blood on our shoes, in almost everything, blood in our electrical appliances, and not literally, but we're talking about the people who are dying for the sake of
literally
cheap
blood,
labor
sweat, and
or
tears.
slave labor, I should say. Sorry. So, and it's not just Israel and Palestine, but it's the CCP and East Turkestan.
Yes.
That unfortunately we're witnessing a genocide, but they're the CCP are trying to censor it as much as possible. And so we want to use our platform, inshallah, for good.
Yeah, so I just wanted to end our conversation today with a few virtues of learning languages. And akhlaq means virtues or moral character in Arabic. And I'll just get a few of the lessons I've learned from this book that I've been reading called Fluent Forever by Gabriel Weiner. And within it, he states that there are so many psychological and also social benefits of learning languages. Not just in the sense of connecting with people better, but opening up new pathways in your brain, as well as improving your creative capacity and various other problem-solving capabilities that you might have over somebody who doesn't learn new languages.
Yeah, yeah. So it's not just psychological benefits, but it's beyond that. It's really there's so many social benefits. You know?
Absolutely.
When you look to someone who might be Bosnian or Croatian, and you say kakosi,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden it's like, wow, this person actually, wants to understand my language or understand me more in a very respectful way by speaking my language. And it's such a bridge that you build immediately just because you can speak it a little. Then they ask you, oh, where are you from? Oh, how did you learn? Oh, blah, blah. You say, oh, I'm just trying to learn. I like learning languages.
So next time I see the Bosnian brother at the mosque, I will make sure to say kakusi.
Yeah.
And I think
Watch
that's...
out, he's going to come for you.
Yes. I think that's a good
He's
way
gonna
of...
speak your language.
That's a good way of starting a new friendship right there.
Absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
If they see that you've made the effort to say how are you in their language,
yeah, 100%.
then you can make that effort to create a lifelong friendship.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
that's always, honestly, if you're always lost for words, you can ask, oh, where are you from? And that's a great way to just create a sort of connection.
Absolutely.
And then if you happen to know their language, or you ask, oh, are you from this city, or are you from here? And then you might have maybe been there, but this is in the chance, or in the case that you haven't been to their country, you say, oh wow, do you say kakosi to say how are you? Or do you say khobasti to say, are you okay, are you good, how are you? So it's a good way to just, a cultural exchange, good cultural
Absolutely.
exchange. Yeah. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Inshallah, you'll see us on our next episode next week, where we're having a special guest who is also very passionate about learning languages. And we'd love for you to hear his story. I think he knows up to 4 languages, perhaps.
Yeah, at least 4
cool.
languages.
Yeah. There are some people who know even more.
Quadlingual.
Or a polyglot.
Polyglot, yeah.
But we hope that you learned something from today. And see you inshallah in the next episode. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thank you for joining.